Hello, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another session of Legends of the Heroes Trails in the Sky. Hello, Tenska, and hope you're doing well. Hello, Alice on the YouTube side, hope you're doing well. Yeah, there were just some mishaps. For some reason, my OBS wasn't streaming when I clicked stream. It said, like, failed to connect the server, so I had to restart for that. Apologies there. But yeah, looks like we're doing well. Again, what recently happened in-game was that the Aureole, a floating city, came out of a rift and shut down all devices. Now, we do have a little inventor friend who is capable of re-establishing communications. So, we are working on that right now. So, we're just revisiting old areas. It's all in the same, like, nation. So it's almost like a full loop that we're going. It's nice. Chillin' took a nap, bit longer than expected, but doing good. Oh, that's good to hear. It's good to hear. As long as you are sleeping well. Me, might be a little sick. I feel like I've been saying that a lot. So, see, I took the week off of streaming, basically, hoping that I could recover. I'm still a little bit off, but I think I'll be okay with some rest. But I did want to make at least a little bit of progress in-game. So we'll see. Let's see. Talk, near listen. Probably check the board. We're good. Okay. But yes, the world is screwed up. Let's see. What else? Well, we just came from the caves, so that means next is Grancel, I believe. The airships are down. Let's see. Wolf Fort, Elmo Village. No, these aren't really the right way. Oh my god, so last stream I might have screwed myself up for like an hour, maybe 2 hours. Because there was a boss that was like, does an earthquake every time you attack it. And there's like 8 of these guys. I'm like, oh, that sounds annoying. So I tried to kill them all at once, and all 8 of them did the AoE earthquake move, wiping out my party in 1 turn. I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be an annoying fight. The real trick, which I learned a bit too late, is to just target them one by one, which does take forever. And then after killing or getting to like the last one, there's like these worm guys. After getting to the last one, I accidentally hit run away, which restarts the entire fight. That's my bad. That's Republican territory. Don't go to Republic. Okay, fine, man. Just want to check if there's anything I can do here. I think I took care of it. Okay, we're good. I took the wrong road. I think I'm supposed to go down Strat Plains. We are supposed to be going to the capital next. And Chloe's supposed to be princess soon. Isn't that neat? There's a lot of walking in this game, but that's fine. Let's see. Oh hey, I was in the waiting room, but then it didn't start despite being in the waiting room. Damn waiting room. Ah, that happens. That happens. Sometimes you have to refresh. I'm sorry. But yeah, as an explanation to why there was a delay. Some things were buggy on my end. When I tried to hit start stream, it just said failed to connect the server. So I'm like, oh, okay. That's weird. I guess I have to restart my computer and reset everything for whatchamacallit, for stream, of course. Not too bad. We got delayed by like what, 10 minutes? It's okay. Might not be a long stream, guys. Okay, hear me out. Every time I say it's going to be a short stream, there's always something that extends it for like another hour or 2. And then when I say, oh man, this is gonna be a long stream, guys, or even when I don't say anything, it turns into, this is the way we were before. it turns into like maybe a 2-hour stream or even like a 1.5-hour stream. Let's see. I got distracted reading something on the LP archive, so forgot to refresh. What is the LP archive? I feel like I've heard that many times before, but for some reason I'm drawing a blank on that one. Also, Zero, hello. We have Tita in the party, of course. Okay, it sucks, right? Like I said, there's the whole EMP thing, which prevents us from using magic. Magic and other like devices in general. Let me just throw something on. And before, when the chapter started, we had 4 of these zero fuel generators, which negates that effect. But we're supposed to be giving these to different guild members. So now we are down to 2, so only Tira and Estelle have it. The rest are kind of physical damage. It's fine. We'll manage. Is that annoying? Oh, absolutely. I feel like many of these things I can kill in one shot if I had magic available. But Joshua's still cool. Agat's still cool. They're more physical damage anyway. So that army road. Where does Zenkin go? I don't remember where that goes. Does this go to Roland? I don't think so. We'll give it a shot. No, so that army road goes to the base, I think. We can stop by and say hi there, real quick. The bird guy's here, right? No? I'm talking about something else. Okay, well. We just kill all of these guys. It's a text archive of Let's Plays on the Something Awful forums. Oh, I see. Oh, let's see. What do you mean you went to sleep? What do you mean you went to sleep? Which are usually in text format. Usually. Oh, okay. I think I got the idea. The little 3chan. I don't think there's anything here, at least in Fortress. Well, okay, Castius's station here, which is Estella and Joshua's dad. So that shouldn't be a problem. Never mind, I guess. We're not saying hello to them, are we? You lot, your braces, right? Listen, Fortress currently under emergency alert. Unless your business is critical, I'll have to ask you to leave. Excuse me, is General Bright in the Fortress? You know, our father. Of course General Bright is here, but as a result of everything not working, the army's in chaos. General's been working without rest, sending orders to all regions via courier, rebuilding the chain of command. The plot happened tragic, very tragic. Sneeze, I'm sorry. Let's see. Yes, everything's on fire. Like I said, giant floating city about the size of our entire central lake as spawned in the middle of the sky, shutting down everything. It's awful. Even if your braces are afraid I can't let you see him. Okay. Could you potentially make an exception? This is actually General Bright's daughter. Lagas! Really? You're Mrs. Estelle Bright? I heard she was in the guild, but hells. Then of course you can come in. I'll show you right to the general's. No, it's okay, really. I wouldn't want to get in the way of his job if he's that busy. Estelle. I think buzzing the old man's a little okay, don't you? Dad has his way, I have mine. I'm sure that Dad's doing well in his own job. Will make mine easier. Oh, okay. I think if I do the same, his job will get easier too. So it's enough just knowing he's okay. Estelle. Fair enough. We'll be going then. Please give our best to the general and let him know we stopped by. Of course, I'll do what I can. I'll see if I can catch him doing this mess or something. Thanks again. Oh, in that case, I'm glad I stopped by. I was like, oh, what a shame. Nothing's going on here. Alright. That makes sense. If we all do our parts, then in the long run, everyone will be helped out. We are good to go. Right. I just want to go through this pathway, please. The enemies here don't even give good EXP because the whole level cap thing. Not level cap. Scaling? Is that the right term? No. If you're lower level, they give you more EXP. Higher level you are, less EXP. That's basically it. There's Sanctum Gate. I think there's new enemies around here. I think we're fine. No, you cannot walk through here. 100 million useless enemies attack. No! Oh, man. So, like, I mean, there are other games. I can't think off the top of my head what they are. But it's like, if you go through, like, a lower ranked area, you can just one-shot the enemies on the field. Metaphor did that. Oh, I haven't finished Metaphor, Refantasio. Even though I should, I think I'm, like, super close to the end. But there, it's like, yeah, you fought these guys before. You're like 5 levels higher than them. One shot. We'll give you all the money rewards. We can't shut the gate in the moment. So, managing passage demands a lot of attention. G-Burst can pass free, so don't worry. Those General Cassius' orders. We've received special communiques to that extent. Cool. Oh, bracers, come for a meal? Thank Idios, I was so bored I would die. Macho stew, nice. What do you have? Passion omelet, heals for 22, always appreciated. Oh, that feeling. Got a couple games I want to finish and all, but I just can't be bothered. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know I've been playing this game kind of back to back for a while. But for Metaphor, I kind of got burnt out. Maybe because it's there's a day system, which means you have to do all the quests as soon as possible. If you leave a dungeon, that burns time. I think that burnt me out as well. So there's no grinding. Now, customers, I don't know if it's because of the state of the world, but we've lost a lot of business. I feel like if the world is ending, you're going to be traveling a little bit less. Got plenty of open beds, so relax and enjoy. As a special, each guest is welcome to 2 pillows. 2 whole pillows! I know such a luxury is hard to comprehend, but there it is. Are you telling me that this entire time you've been giving us 1 pillow? Oh my god. 2 whole pillows, guys. Let's see. Case in point, 5 years ago, yeah? Restoration of communications is our first bit of good news in a while. Under General Cassius' orders, the army all over the nation is finally acting in an organized manner. Our main equipment isn't working, and we have a slew of other issues right now, so things are kind of bad, but to serve your best, even under trying circumstances, is the duty of the military. Cool. Let's see. I don't think there was anything special up here. Whom is General Cassius? Oh yes, Cassius Bright is our father. Cassius is Estelle's biological father and Joshua's adopted father. And then yeah, so that makes Estelle and Joshua like step siblings or adoptive siblings, but they have the romance going on, so you know. Cassius is dead, kind of. Now, I know it's like a whole Ouroboros plot thing, but basically what happened was, in the first game, as soon as they received news that Cassius left the country, that's when the bad guys started doing all of their major plots or whatever. But at least in terms of the first game, without us knowing that context, it's like, wow, Dad kinda just fucked off and let us take care of this ourselves, huh? Oh, that guy, right. Sure hope Cassius is kept far away from any salads. His name is Cassius, not Caesar. There is a character named Caesar. But he is not of the salad variety. Right, Agat and Joshua cannot use magic. But, good physical. See, yeah, only 3 XP for these guys. Because we are just at a good level. Well, we do get good in Mirith and Sephith. Sephith being what we use to upgrade our attacks. Goodbye. Goodbye.
We're good to go.
We're good to go. Now, that could go to Roland, but we also need to say hi to Chloe. Might as well do it while we're here. Yeah, Chloe's not in the party right now. She has all that princess duty stuff going on. And I really hope she gets a turning point soon. Because she's like, I love the people. I love helping everyone. And the reason why I can help them is because I am mingling with them on a personal level. And I don't know if I'm ready to be a high up princess living in the castle and all that. And she knows she can do more as a princess, but she can't be like super personal with everyone. The main game I want to get around is Library of Ruina. It's fun, but difficulty spikes are a pain. Is that a JRPG? Sounds like a JRPG. Chloe has a hot body. Well, she's very cute. She's very cute. When I first met her, I'm like, oh, she's so nice. She's the best girl. Obviously, Tita came around. But at least at the time, I'm like, Chloe, you're the best. I hope you find a lover. Doesn't have to be me. More monsters. Damn it. Oh-ho! Estelle, everyone, and Joshua. Welcome back. I'm glad you've returned. Hello, all men. Sorry if I'm worried you. No, hardly. I'm just glad I hope you'll continue to be a valuable member. Yes, well, the city's in chaos thanks to the sun shut down. Look, oh, fuck. I shouldn't have talked to this guy. Because I'm gonna have to give him one of the devices. For, magic. That, damn it. Our accumulation made a proclamation. She has declared that the government is devoting every resource to investigating and reversing the shutdown phenomena. And that citizens should try to continue their daily lives as best they can. It seems to have quelled the worst of panic for now. Looks like Queen Alicia's on top of it as always. Yes, but that flying thing above Lake Valeria. Citizens are putting two and two together and say that that's the cause of the overall problems. Well, that's not very surprising. Yeah, well, as soon as it showed up, everything shut down. Tita hated it? No, I love Tita. It's great. Nope, it's Korean. It's card-based JRPG or something like that. I'm bad at game genres. Oh, okay. Card-based, though. Huh. Like Slay the Spire? The number of people staring at it harbor grows hourly. Okay. Beyond that, the only major change is that the gate to Grand Seal Castle won't open, courtesy of the orbital suspension. Yes, if this continues... Okay. Need to restore communications. Right. All that's left is Roland. Okay, good luck all of you. Oh, thank God. Thank God. So they already have one. They already have one. Holy shit. Okay. Cool. Cool. I have to fight two monsters though. One is in the ruins. In the sewers rather. Use East Block entrance. Okay. East Block. Oh man, so we can't even get in here. Never mind, we can't get in here. What? Princess Claudia should be in the castle, but she's very busy. I believe you may not be able to meet her. Yeah, joke's on you, I'm barging in. Where is she? Damn it. Okay. Joke's on you, I'm barging in. Estelle and Joshua. It's been a while, Hilda. Yes, welcome back. Hilda, is Chloe around? Each spell will characterize buildable collection of cards. Using a card to clash enemies' card in order to kill them. Can turn them into books and use their cards against other. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so Shogi does something similar where it's like chess. If you capture or if you defeat the enemy's piece, you can use it on your side, like on a later turn, which I think is really cool. Miss Claudia is in the audience room ahead. However, she's currently speaking about something important with the Queen, so I'm afraid I must ask you to refrain from entering. Really? I'm afraid I can't say when they will be done. Very sorry. I know you went out of your way to visit too, but don't worry about it. Just came to see her since I was in the capital. Don't want to get in the way, so I'll take my leave. Pardon us. Damn. So she can't join the party. Oh, you know what? I should probably go to the roof anyway. Reason why is because every town seems to have a spot where you can see the whatchamacallit, the Aureole? The Aureola? Maybe not from here. I think it would be from the Queen's Chamber, which is all the way in the back. I'm just double checking. Hey Joshua, remember this place? This is where you kissed me and then fucking drugged me. That was not fun. Well, it was dramatic for sure. I enjoyed it. It's quite good. Has some spikes. Prequels to Lobotomy Corp. Okay. I have seen Lobotomy Corp at the very least. So I have some idea on what you're talking about and what it looks like. Alright. Please tell me it's back here. Alright. Save again just in case. Oh man, oh man. Every town has a view of this place. I assume the last place I could see it from would be the clock tower in Roland. I think that's the highest point in Roland. Like, man, oh man. Yeah, no, again. This thing just came out of the sky through like a glowing rift. And all the lights in the world shut down. Fishing spot, hello? From here? Alright, fine. From the top of the castle. Pretty damn city, yeah. It looks nice. Woo, hit. One long ass line. I liked fishing as a child. I haven't done it recently. I could try giving it a shot, but I'd have to find a place that does rentals for that. Okay. Using trout as bait, come on. Come on. When it says it's not a good spot, it just means, like, that specific bait isn't good for it. Yeah? Okay. Crabs, I'm good. At least I fished here. Alright, so we have to go to the sewers and we have to go to the scenic route, which goes to Roland, so it'll be on the way. But I do have to double back to town to port it. So it seems like, I've said this last stream, it looks like this part is kind of just chill. Nothing too taxing except like the boss that I fought last time. Like last stream. Otherwise, we're pretty good, I'd say. Oh, so something I might, I'm thinking about. Like, I know I have these VODs. Or like, this will be a VOD. Like, let's say this is a 3-hour stream. You'll see the full 3 hours. What if either the same day or the day after, I just have like a cut down version where like all this wandering around and walking around gets cut out? It was just a thought. At first I thought, oh, we'll do a mega compilation of like all the parts, but we're at like what, part 27? I don't think I can do that all at once. Let's see. Thumbnail seems unchill. Yeah, well, okay, so the reason why I have that thumbnail is because I thought we'd be fighting more monsters, which I guess we are. We are going out of our way to fight more monsters, but they are tougher than usual. For example, maybe it's because half of the party isn't able to use magic or use their arts and skills. But also, some of the enemies just like target Tita specifically. Tita has good damage, but her HP compared to the rest is in half. Because her gimmick is like, oh, stay farther away in the back. But the enemy's like, no. I'm gonna cast Petrify. Can I even enter these places? Oh, we can. Cool. I might go into the Erebonian embassy and read the Carnelia series. Because they do have books in this game that you can read. I read The Blue Knight, which is about like a puppet master. But I have no idea what Carnelia is about. As always, enemies go for the healer. Yeah, no, they're smart. They're like, huh. I know you could be low HP, but that's the healer. Alright, let's try this. Let's try this. Waiting. Waiting. Gotcha, bitch. More crabs? Come on. But yes, there's supposedly an enemy down here somewhere. These mole guys, they're so weak. But a god has no range. Piece of cake. Yeah, we're not getting EXP off these guys. But there should be a monster wandering around here that we're looking for. Oh, these self-destruct guys. I don't want to deal with them. Yes, the mole people. Ugh. Okay. If I just keep wandering around, we'll get to it eventually. I should close the chest. Gives you a sad look. It wishes it had something more for you. You're disrespectful towards Tita. No, Tita needs more HP. That's the issue. What if I just do Dragoon Edge? Okay, so yeah, they do give a lot. They do give a lot of everything. But they have like super high evasion. Oh man, I remember this room. Was it this room? I don't think so. Never mind, I'm wrong. But I know here in the sewers, there's like a pathway into the castle. Okay. Okay. What you got for me? I might even be in the wrong space, actually. Let me save and see what location it marks it as. We're supposed to be in the east side. Here for a rematch? You let her get hit? I'm sorry! The enemies like to target Tita a lot. Not sure why. Yes, we are in the east block. We're good. And now we're in the north block. Oops. This is not where we're supposed to be. Tita, kill him. Tita, kill him! Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is not where we're supposed to be. Has Tita done the Devil's Tango with Kira for a rematch? I don't think so. Maybe in a later game when they're both older. Maybe. We're still looking for the boss. The monster we're supposed to hunt down. Where is this guy? By older, you mean when she's 16, he's 30? Ah, you make it sound so bad, Zero. Well, it is bad. No. They're supposed to be the cutesy sibling types. Tita has a crush on a god, and a god thinks of her as, like, his little sister. Because he lost his little sister 10 years ago. Kinda yikes. Let's see. Where is this guy? They won't tell me specifically where it is. Maybe I was supposed to go to the north side. Oh man. Alright, we'll just keep going the way we were then. Who knows what a guy was planning to do with his sister? Oh my god. Like Joshua did to Estelle. Well, Joshua and Estelle are like the same age. Why are you only digging this hole deeper? I don't know. Zero keeps egging me on. And the conversation gets wilder and wilder. No. Was it this way? No. This is where we were before. I think. Just a treasure chest. Right. And nothing else. Damn it. And I still have to walk out manually because there's no fast travel in this game. Ugh. Mr. Monster, where are you? Is this where I came from? Absolutely where I came from. I am getting lost. Alright, north is that way. I have to check the compass on the upper right, just to make sure I keep track of where I'm going. Oh my god. Time loop, guys! Holy moly. Okay. Well, actually, they didn't specify what part of the sewers. They just said enter through the east, right? Okay. So it could be forward here, and we just don't know. Oh, that is not a field boss. It's just a normal enemy. Had me thinking for a second, though. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. It did 0 damage, but it poisoned me.
Let's move out.
Where is this guy? And in the end, this will just lead me back to the castle, I think. Okay, okay. Where is this guy? Man! Just go down. Go down.
Shouldn't have done that.
Shouldn't have done that. Nope. Door's blocked and impassable. Damn it, so it's not here. They told me to use the sewers. Dude, worst part about getting lost in the sewer maze is probably the smell. Dude, I can't even imagine exploring like a sewer. I've smelled some awful smells in my life, and the sewer should not be one of them. Okay. We're already here. We're like, oh, nothing's here. Damn it. We'll find it eventually. It's gonna be in one of these side rooms, maybe, perhaps. Where we came from. Nope. So it has to be down here somewhere. Ah, blah, blah, blah. Do.
Not done yet.
No, again, it's where we came from. I think it would tell us if we killed the monster. Here it is. I've been waiting for you. First off, we're gonna evil eye to delay all of your. There you go. Okay. Ow. Okay. I might have made a mistake with that one. Oh boy. They are resistant to wind, so that's not gonna work. Maybe Josh can do something. Smoke cannon. Maybe they'll miss. Ow. Oh, that's not too bad. Oh, that's kind of bad. That's kind of not great. Oh, flicker, 18 delay. Craft, heartbreak. Craft, spiral edge. See, it's all good. It's turning out not great. It's fine. She heals for like 35. It's good. We're good. See, Tito carried. Tito carries. Daedalus would be impressed at this maze. Oh man. Little strike. Okay. Heartbreak. Big ol' AoE attack. Yeah. Okay, come on. Oh, you can kill. Oh no. What do you mean they're like being resistant right now? Okay, self-destruct, that's fine. Okay, okay. Heartbreak. Again, it cancels spells. Not letting him take a turn ever again. Flicker also delays a turn. Art. Well, they take 100% of the fire damage, so that might be something. Okay. Crit. Easy. What's even that thing they're fighting? I don't know. We took care of that. I'm gonna do a quick BRB. I'm gonna clear my head for that one. Give me a second. But yes, this is another world. So we have Remake, which was the Beagle, right? And then you have Rebirth, or whatever Zap was from had the Terrier, and now here is the Pug, which I'm going to say is Aerith's doomed world.
Whoa. I'll miss these moments. Thank you both.
Miss these moments? What do you mean?
Now,
Are these all dead people? Oh, these aren't all dead
way.
people.
Come on.
Dude, she made this world. She made this world. And I'm scared to go against her. If I disagree with Aerith, I feel like something bad is going to happen. Guys? Holy shit. Oh, are we gambling? Uh-oh. Oh no, I'm gambling. Alright, and I am back. Holy moly. I think running around that spot just made my head spin a little bit. Wow, get the best viewers at this link, but the best viewers are right here. Alright, let's go. And now we have to run back. Do I even remember the way back? No, not really. And then this is the lever that's supposed to open the way between east and west. But for this game, no, it doesn't work anymore, unfortunately. Oh man. Oh yes, oh no, gambling. Dude, as soon as I saw the casino, I'm like, oh, I want to get all up in that. You know? Let's go gambling. Ah, dang it. Where even are we? Going up, over, nope. The next monster that we have to hunt down, probably way easier, because it's out on the field. It's gonna be on the main road, so that should be fine, manageable. Oh man, you guys don't want to mess with me right now. Estelle. Tira. Good. I mean, you streamed Uma Musume, so some gambling's to be done. It's true. Oh, I do stream Uma Musume. Let's go gambling. One of these days, I'm gonna buy a lot of gems. And then I'll do a stream where it's just me pulling all day. We'll see. But it has to be something worth it, you know? I'm not gonna pull for just anyone. This the way out? And we're out, thank goodness. So that's one down. We can read a bit of the Cornelia series. There is an achievement for it anyway. Maybe like 1 or 2 chapters. And then I'll resume the, it sounds important. Let's see. I stood there upon the revolving doors, scuffing the heels of my boots against the ground. pulling slightly on the collar of my trench coat. I dropped my chin and gazed at the partial reflection curve in the curved glass. Aside from my short hair, I wore the modest-looking double-breasted leather raincoat. Oh, okay, raincoat. And a pair of special order steel-reinforced boots, both of which at first glance appear to be the most common of common apparel. 10 pages? Never played Uma Musume, but Agnes Digital's grabbed me. Dude, I wanted to get Agnes Digital because she is absolutely just a simp for the other Uma Musume, to the point where she will give you random notifications like, "We got a race now, trainer. The horses are at the racetrack. We should be there too." Okay, cool. Yet, there were in fact more than naked eye could detect. My ordinary average appearance. It was just as much importance today as it had been on any other day in the past. Not far off, the sounds of footfalls echoed rhythmically, like the steady beat of a pendulum swinging back and forth, as the throngs of those coming and going moved quickly along the cobblestone avenue. Enveloped in tingled silver by the morning mist, at times, the calling voice of a street peddler disrupted steady flow. But as soon as the hawking cry faded away, it would resume its course. Each morning, I'd found myself setting foot in the Imperial City. Oh, this place? No, Erebonia. I also found my surroundings to be unchanged and stained by the same somber tone of grey. Snatching up a magazine from the underarm of a street vendor, I tossed a few mirror into the left hand, poised expectantly behind his back. The Imperial Chronicle, the magazine I had read so often that even ink bleeds were familiar. Roughly flipping through its open cover, she canonically writes Uma Musume fanfics and drops some otherwise unwise comments. Absolutely peak. That's why we should have her. Everyone should have their own Agnes Digital. No, I like her a lot. I tried pulling for her, but I got a bunch of other characters instead. It's fine. Headlines among the top monochrome pages, then suddenly my breath caught my throat. At the very bottom of the local news page, I found those letters, that sequence of characters which I had not heard nor seen since the time of that life-changing incident. My eyes instantly gravitated to the spot. And for a time remained fixated. Ein Selnik. The very meaning of those letters became lost to my senses as I stood motionless. My gaze fixed on the same line of text until it all seemed to coalesce into a single blotch of ink. After a few seconds of blank comprehension, my vision settled. I'm just gonna read this and then we'll continue with the next quest. But there's like 10 of these chapters. As I began to read, my memories verged on a single point in my mind, and then slowly started to run in reverse, heading for that fateful event 3 years prior when this name was first introduced to me. It was on an afternoon all those years ago, on not a day unlike this one, where the capital was overshadowed by its typical gloomy aura. So this is about the capital, which is, right now we're in the kingdom. There is a small republic, and the empire is what we were at war with 10 years ago. I was a little younger than now, a 22-year-old boy who stood silently in front of the boutique door as usual, double-checking his appearances before lightly trading over Mick's Imperial Factory. Oh, we've heard that name before. I think it was in Cold Steel. It was on this day that it had been arranged for me to receive a new job from Mick, the shop owner. Although he was a drab middle-aged man, being the ornament enthusiast I was, I had found myself as one of his few regular customers. Head down the dank alleyway, and after passing through a partially rotted wooden gate, I could see the soft glow of the flickering orbital light just outside the entrance of the factory. Oh, factory! Okay, reminder that the weapons or the robots that the enemies use, the Ouroboros people use, are from the 13 factories, so maybe that's relevant. Who knows? Okay. I first began receiving jobs from Mick about the time the dissension began to occur in the 100 Days War. It was during this period that relations between Liberal and Kingdom were at their worst, so this was during the war. Conspiring with underground elements, planning a smuggling operation. Mick made me out to be his accomplice in crime, for the job which I had received by his hand was none other than that of a courier. Ooh, being nothing more than a commoner in my teens at the time, I met him and a juvie devoid of connections besides life. And life besides, I naturally jumped at the opportunity without a moment's hesitation. Yet, after relations with Libro had returned to some degree of normalcy, I realized I was in no mood to give up my specialty, which focused mainly on delivering of stolen goods. The reason being, there was no job out there which could bring in the kind of mirror this one did. With an unrefined and inconspicuous appearance, I'd countless times before hidden items of various sorts in my hat and trousers that made my way hither and thither between the borders of the neighboring nations. And though to my delight, my wallet had become increasingly laden with a bounty of monetary rewards, I'd routinely change my alias as a precautionary measure. So much in fact that these false names had built up into quite a list over the past few years. I'd been known as Phil, the Frivolous, Rooney, the Trickster, and even Chris, the Cowardly. However, Mick said had always called me by one name, Toby. This is the identity I had for my initial job and the one I liked above all others. So why just 13? Who decided that 14 factories were too many? Well, obviously 13 is the number of death, and 14 is like the perfect number, like beyond death. So I guess they're edgy like that. Oh, I'm tempted to read more. But they're like 9 pages. But there is an achievement for going through all of them. We'll do one more and then I'll do the quest. Train station. Hello there, Toby! You've come at just the right time! Greeting me with these words, Mick shuffled slightly in his seat behind the counter. The baked confection he had been eating was so ever carefully placed atop his lap to prevent it from falling onto the floor. Why put it on your lap, not the table? Gotta go to bed? I've slept rather ungood this weekend. No, I completely understand. As always, seeing a familiar face puts a smile on my face. So if you need to get some rest, I completely understand. Now just saying hi is more than enough to put a smile on my face. So take care and sleep well. Sweet spices, baked or pervaded. An item dropped off more than a few minutes ago, he said. Turning into a seat, Mick reached back and snatched up something, an old magazine, from off the shelf, tossing it to me. Knowing full well I couldn't get any sort of answer, I asked, what do we have to do this time? Laying out my railway and airship tickets, Mick ignored my question, saying, make sure this gets the same place as always. Okay, so he's doing illegal shit, right? Smuggling things out of the Empire into the Kingdom. Let's see, it would be in your best interest to keep your involvement to a minimum by leaving business side of things to me, solely focusing on getting the job done, Toby. He leaned back in his chair and let out a deep sigh, the balls of his fingers kneading the bags under his eyes, and then once again his large hand extended down toward the unattended cake resting on his leg. Before the sweet treat could reach his watering mouth, I had already made my way at the door of his tiny shop. As I walked, the waste paper bundled package bounced inside the folds of my bag, but the feel of this shape and weight, I could beat it steadily against my side. I concluded that the object in my possession was more than just swag. It didn't make me nervous not to know what it was that I was carrying, for I had done this type of job many times before, and no matter what kind of trouble I found myself wrapped up in, I always somehow managed to come out unscathed. In truth, my experience on the job had made me tough, and I had become well versed in the art of orbital magic. So it was that when I laid my eyes on that rough-looking trio at the station, I felt no more knots of uneasiness in the pit of my stomach than was necessary for some of my abilities. The platform of the train was bound for Libro. Oh, the train, right. So Ereboni excels, Trails of Cold Steel, by the way, excels in railroads. Seeing that the benches were crammed full of people, that they could have very well been a tin of packed sardines. I found myself standing near the entrance as I patiently waited for the train to come in. Twisting my body in order to move the bag to my other shoulder, I noticed the figures of 2 men. Heads bent together, conversing in inaudible tone, they stood just beyond the ticket gate. Right about where the horse head of the Imperial emblem lay embedded in the ground, in a grand mosaic of tiles. After a short interim, another man approached and joined in the conversation. From my perspective, this one was a ragtag group I most certainly couldn't have given a passing grade 2 based on looks. All 3 were extremely well built and sported a haircut. Oh yeah, I saw 3 people with hair. Wow. Put it mildly, they stuck out in the crowd like a bunch of sore thumbs. Making sure to avoid eye contact with them as they glanced in my direction, I slung my bag onto my shoulder and ever so calmly reached my hand into my pocket and ran the tips of my fingers across the surface of my orbit. A woman's voice reverberated within the walls of the station, notifying the passengers that the train had arrived. The low rumble of an orbital engine could be felt in the distance, and after a few moments, a large vehicle was seen rolling up to my shoulder. I muttered to myself, "All is well." But the sound of my voice was drowned out by the din of a massive machine. Brakes screeched, and a flash of black light reflected off the surface of a giant iron beast as it came sliding across the rails. The immense vibration in the air emanating from the moving locomotive at its epicenter let me know that the train had arrived. A low rumble of an orbital engine could be felt in the distance, and after a few moments, a large vehicle was seen rolling up to the shoulder. I muttered to myself, "All is well." But the sound of my voice... Okay. Let me know that the engine had been put into full reverse in order to decelerate and bring the train to a grinding halt. While being shoved to and fro by the waves of impatient travelers flooding out to the waiting area, I was swept towards one door of a passenger car. As we passed by the conductor, I caught a glimpse of the ticket gate. The men who were once there are now gone, and the only thing that remained was the profile of a horse made of glossy tiles. Staring back at me. Okay. I'll come back to this later. Reading too much at once might burn me out too much. Besides, I still gotta take care of this. Caliber, no. I want to get out of here. So we can't go into the castle. Well, we can go into the castle, just we can't talk to Chloe and whatnot. Which is a rather damn shame. Alright, so it's on the Herb Scenic Route, right? Which is... well, towards Green Gate, I suppose. It looks like we have 2 more chapters though, total of 10. So I don't know what the next chapter would be. Seems like we're almost done. Oops. That's Elise Highway, which goes to Roland, which we're not doing quite yet. Herb Scenic Route is down south. Got it. Don't worry about me, I can take care of this. Maybe today's stream will just be me reading the rest of that book. Okay, that's 1 and 2. Should have done that. No, nothing new. These guys reflect spells. I think I remember that much. Going with the eggshell heads. As payment for taking my stuff, you must cut down the tallest tree in the forest with a herring. I don't know about that, Chief. Alright, cool. Oh, it got leveled up. Actually crazy that it leveled up. Considering. Just want to make sure there's no enemies out here. It's just a nice peaceful place where we can chill and hang out. Fishing spot though. Alright, let's do it. Hit. Liberal card. Nice. And got a Tiro Bomb. Well, it's good that you can fish up restorative items. So I'm just looking for the head honcho. And normally they're just like smack dab in the middle of the road. But who knows? Where are you? Where are you? Maybe they're by here. We have many of these monuments. Ancient Monument stands here. Emerald Monument. But there should be something significant here. There's 4 of these. Don't know why though. Maybe they're representative of the 4 towers. Who knows? Oh, are you the big guy? I can take you. Cool. That's my bad. You know what? I will take this opportunity to prep something. You can do Wild Rage. Nice. And kill them. So at least we have that. Orbment. Then save. Do. Okay. Where are you? Cool. Let's see. Nice. Oh, that's a lot of turns though. I think we'll be fine. I assume they'll beat the fire. No, not even. Maybe we can just do this. Art. Okay. Cool. Do. Take care of the big guy, please. Ow, ow. What do you mean? Oh man. Yours. What was it? Petrified? Not paralysis? Mr. Pace? No. What is that? Seal Mute Confused? That's not it. Is it? I don't think so. It does count. Satellite cannon, please! Dude, I love that she just has a satellite laser. What even is this? I'm really glad that her zero field generator reaches space. Just saying. Two, 3. Not 4 though, huh? Cool.
Not done yet.
Kill confirmed. That is another one down. We just do Cornelia. I don't know if I'm good enough for whatever's left. Oh, looks like you're basers. It's rare to see people visiting the royal villa in the midst of chaos like this. If you wish to enter, you're welcome. Right now, just a small selection of staff. Okay, cool. Just double checking on who is here. Maybe we'll see Julia here. Can't see from here, but we've received reports from a mysterious object. Does the guild know what it is? No idea. Crazy. Duke Dunan's room. What happened to Duke Dunan? Oh, he's probably in the castle. I'll read another chapter of Cornelia, and then we'll go see what Duke is up to. Oh, Simone, you're totally getting played by Raymond. But if you're gonna call it a contest, then I won't hold back. No way I'm gonna lose. And the contest, see who can clean the most rooms. And you can bet that I have every intention of cleaning the house. Wait, I think you're getting played. by Raymond, actually. Who can clean the most? You or me? Oh, I guess you cleaned all the rooms before I could get to them. That's a shame. Just when I knew this was going on. Just when nothing is nerve-wracking, so I've decided to start cleaning the villa from top to bottom. Idle hands make for idle thoughts, as the saying goes. And since all my idle thoughts are filled with rain, I'd rather much work. Oh, okay. He's not even doing it on purpose. He's just cleaning out of panic. And this dude is like, what, a butler? Meanwhile, the maids are like, he's cleaning for us? No, we can't let that happen. Hashtag Duke for president. I agree. He should take over for a little bit. At least while Chloe is hesitant, maybe he takes over for a while, you know? Just saying. Let's see. Let's heal, by the way. Report the TheAntiYuu from library. No, we're not deporting me from anywhere. No, okay, so like I said, I like Duke Dunan as a character. Obviously, he's not the best guy, right? Every punishment that he's gotten since the first game, he has deserved. But, you know, he's getting humble about it, I think. Well, I have to visit him again just to make sure. You know what? Let's go back to Granzel Castle right now. Let's turn in these guild quests. Talk to Duke Dunan. And we'll feel a little bit better, you know? What's up here? What is up here? Yeah, old Cerulean Stone Monument. Right? So again, I don't know what the significance of these are because they're not explaining it to us. But maybe in the third game, this whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this octagon shape 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 octagon will open up and there'll be like secret passages. Who knows? All I know is that right now I want to beat the game. I want to go to town. Ooh. Okay, where are we going? World Avenue. Duke Dunan, I miss you. My guy. Again, does he have qualities of a king? Not really, but we'll see. Oh man, I hope he comes in clutch by third game. Right, reporting in. Good work, it seems to succeed at your objectives safely. If you complete any other task, come report again. Just the 2? Cool. 2 per region? That doesn't sound so bad. I do remember the room that Duke Dunan was staying in. It's like in the far left? In like a library type place? So let's see. Let's go up. I forget if it was first floor or second floor. First floor. Not library, like some conference room type thing. Dude, my goat actually has his own cutscene. Let's go. Ever since Orban stopped, nights are dark and cold, and it's hard to cook. Every day's just unbearable. How does the throne intend to respond to this situation? If you'll allow me. The Obel shutdown phenomena is currently being investigated primarily under the jurisdiction of the Royal Army. We have no other details on the situation at the moment. That's absurd! Now calm yourself. Certainly there's much we do not know. It's exactly why it is the intent of Queen Alicia to support the citizens as much as possible. For example, the East Block's History Museum has been open to the public for free. Furthermore, with the Queen's promise of support, dining establishments are staying open as long as possible. By doing so, we hope the citizenry can reclaim their calm. Dude, my goat! He's talking to the citizens. Holy shit. Character development, I'm telling you. People think I'm crazy when I'm like, he's a good guy. He's learning. He was just like a man-child, blurting out whatever was on his mind in the first game. Now, he's doing better. Also, in case of emergency, we have plans to use the Grand Arena as an evacuation site. And, dude, whoa, is this real life? The Duke seems like he's actually saying reasonable things. I know, is it like the martial arts competition? Oh, sorry. I know, it's like the martial arts competition where he's being forced to say it. No, unlike that greeting, this isn't a situation where he has to do, where all he has to do is say something arranged in advance. He's clearly speaking with his own words, based on his own will and thoughts. He's a good guy! Ah, Duke Dunin, my king. I mean, you know, he's cool. I suppose something acted as a trigger to start changing the Duke. You mean getting his ass beat and then Estelle talking to him? A little bit. Ah. My, if it isn't Joshua and Estelle. Philip, it's been quite some time. Ever since the birthday celebrations, I believe. But I'm glad to see you're well. Yes, thank you. While you're away, Mr. Estelle has been most good to His Majesty. Again, she literally was just blunt, saying like, oh, you need these qualities. And they're like, fuck, fine, whatever. Estelle has? Oh, I didn't do anything that big. Joshua's happy. You are. If you wish, oh man. If you wish to meet with Her Highness or Claudia, you likely won't be able to for a while. If you wish to know the details, you should ask Hilda. I'm sorry, but I've been busy all morning dealing with petitioners, so... Dude, he's hardworking! He's hardworking, and people are probably gonna miss it. Right, and they're busy. Is there anyone in the maid quarters that I should speak to? Ah, Joshua. Hi, Shea. It's been a while. Good to see you're safe. You're as beautiful as ever, huh? Oh, it's the maid outfit. It's nothing. She was in the maid outfit before. I remember. Anyone here we're talking to? No one that I'd recognize. That's the drawbridge. Let's see if there's anyone in the bar that I would recognize. Lady Claudia will be residing in the castle. I'm happier for it. Her mere presence does plenty to brighten the halls of this castle. Oh, I like Duke Dunin. Can I put Joshua in a dress? That'd be amazing. Please, please, Estelle. Put Joshua in a dress. Okay, hear me out, right? Hear me out. Joshua and Estelle officially a couple. As soon as all of this blows over, they're just gonna go straight home. Joshua's putting on the maid dress. Imagine, that'd be wild. I mean, he looked good in it, mind you. Let's see. Oh? Mr. Queen, I'm still somehow able to keep business. Alright. Is that all we can do here? Well, I'm glad I said hi to everyone that I could. Duke Dunin, my goat. Can't believe it. Oh, I could say hi to Elnan one more time before... Oh, but I want to read the Carnelia. Guys, apologies in advance. I might just read that book in the, that's in the Erebonian Plaza. Because it's a history... Well, it's a story, obviously. But it's like part of Erebonian history, so I might give it a look. Fisherman's Guild, it's been a while. Even Ormond stopped. Nothing can cool the passion for fishing. This is exactly the time to get citizenry to enjoy fishing and calm themselves. They'd also like to secure food supplies, so 2 birds with 1 stone. Hey, this is why we learn how to fish. Percy, he's the tour guy. Our society's members are pretty used to outdoor activities. Seems like they're not as bothered as other people. Lloyd's even lighting fires, rubbing sticks together. That's cool. So basically they're like, Yeah, I know. No one's able to use their devices, but we're fishermen. We don't really use that stuff anyway, so we're good. Alright, cool. Let me go East Branch. I think that's where it is. And the North one, I believe. Man, where's Olivier, dude? He said next time we meet, we'll be enemies. What does that mean? Is the goddamn Empire gonna invade us again? I really hope not. I really hope not. Actually, what on earth could it mean? Oh, hello, Ambassador Cornell. Actually, good thing we're talking to this guy, because this guy is from the Empire. Oh, you lot, good timing. What do you know about the current situation? Any details you can provide would be of great assistance. Well, this is certainly out of the blue. Far from it. Orbit malfunctions on a mass scale is utterly unheard of. I won't be able to keep regular contact with Ereboni at this rate. Can't even get any work done. It's unacceptable. I see. Pardon, have you inquired with the Granso Castle yet? It's possible that Queen Alicia might be able to help you. Of course, I did that some time ago. Several times, in fact, and I've yet to receive a response of any kind from Her Majesty. I think it's safe to assume that the palace is just an unfortunate state, given the circumstances. Oh. If I could just restore communications, I could handle the rest. Watch. As soon as he establishes communication, it's gonna be like, hey, we're invading. We can't give him a ZFG, can we? Of course not. Barely have enough as it is. Just has to deal with it for now. What if everyone just has one? That'd be great. Oh, and I have to fucking talk to Ambassador Cockring. Can't believe it. Wonder what the floating object is. Will this affect the Empire as well? It'd be nice to know something. I understand. I'm gonna read one chapter out of Cornelia, if you don't mind. And then we'll go talk to the other ambassador. We're already in chapter 3. As the train barreled on, almost flying through the thick veil of fog, droplets of water splattered against the window glass, extending out transparent veins, and continued to wriggle back and forth under the pressure of swiftly passing wind. Placing the temple of my head against the glass, I stared blankly down at the tickets in my hand, and rubbed the two of them together between my fingers. I would be traveling by train to the border city, far south of its imperial cousin. Then to reach Liberal, I would need to transfer to an airship. Both of my tickets were first class, but not the highest end seats available. The passenger car was nearly at full capacity, but for some peculiar reason, no one had seated themselves in the space next to mine. As I mused about the empty seat, it occurred to me that Mick may have purchased the spot ahead of time, leaving it vacant on purpose. Oh, that makes sense. So no one would suspect you, basically. Or like, see that you're up to some shit. There was no doubt in my mind that he was being paid handsomely to make sure this job was done and done well. Will you be traveling to the Liberal Kingdom, sir? Right around the time my trip on the rails had passed its halfway mark, I was met with this sudden question, and set up from the start. My eyes searched for the one who asked it. There, standing in aisle, was a woman with radiant complexion beaming down at me. She wore a coat with overlapping buckles secured to slightly over her breast, and appeared to be in her mid-30s. Gingerly bending her knees, pointing her finger at the empty seat, she asked, "Do you mind?" Yeah, sorry. I don't know what happened, sir. I kind of just paused there. Huh. Huh. With a tilt of her head, she indicated the rear passenger car. Swirling smoke saturated the air and soft mutterly. The smell of tobacco smoke was just dreadful. Wordlessly, I nodded and dragged my bag from its place on the floor, moving it over to the window opposite side of my feet. The woman expressed her thanks and delicately sat herself down in the seat next to mine. For the time being, or for being a perfect stranger, she talked on endlessly, and I appropriately reciprocated with the conversation by saying I was on my way to the Liberal Kingdom on business as an orbit specialist. Her story was that she was on a mission of mercy for the church and an errand to fulfill in the border city. The church? So, well, it's a girl, obviously, so it's not Kevin. But what if, though? Like, same rank. Just so you know, people sometimes refer to me as sister, she went on. Of course, it's just a nickname. She recrossed her black leather boot-clad legs. sorry. She crossed her black leather boot-clad legs and let out a sort of suppressed titter from the back of her throat as she made mention of this. Sister Cornelia was her name. Was her nickname. Oh, the Cornelia series named character. We continued on this fashion, subjugating ourselves to a variety of idle banter, and as time drew on, the sun overhead began to dip in its arc, crossing the celestial meridian and descending into the west. Each time the train moved, cleared a grove of trees, the entire vehicle, passenger and all, was bathed in warm apricot hue, flooding into the cabins, creating a majestic spectacle. I gaped at the coruscating effect, and in doing so, locked my eyes with Sister Cornelia right at the moment of brilliance of the sinking western light, seeped into her rich brown irises, causing them to give off exquisite rubescent sparkle. The glimpse made me wonder if the origin of her nickname was somehow related to the color of her eyes being likened to the luster of a polished carnelian stone. Oh, she has red eyes. Interesting. Also, is this Toby guy falling in love with Cornelia? Understandable. Understandable. Who knows if she's a good person or a bad person? I don't know yet. Don't know yet. The train gradually began to decelerate, and Sister Cornelia returned to her original seat in order to collect their bags. As a matter of habit, I checked my bag in orbit and found both the junk paper covered package and the magical device fastened to my trousers inner pocket by a series of changed stitches exactly where and how I'd left it. Okay. Oh, I can't go back a page. Unfortunate. And a woman's voice came over the intercom and announced that the train would be arriving on schedule and that rainy weather was to be expected at our destination. At the conclusion of the announcement, a number of disappointed sighs could be heard coming from along the rows of seats. Raindrops pattered against the windows outside as looming silhouette of the overcast city came into view. The station's signal lamp emitted an angular light, which was scattered with a refractive effect by the falling water drops. Then came a spine-chilling metallic sound, followed by a jolt of orbital engines reversing, thrusting the locomotive at the front of the station launched to a halt. Over the loudspeaker came an announcement asking the passengers to assure they did not leave their baggage behind. And with that, several people stood up and crowded into the aisle, watching a station worker in uniform as he waved a small flag amidst the falling rain. I picked up my bag and rose to my feet. I crossed paths with Sister Cornelia as I attempted to step into the aisle. But when she tried to step aside and allow me room to pass, she suddenly tripped and fell forward, grabbing my shoulder for support. She picked herself up with an embarrassed smile and let me by. I gave her a short bow in line with general etiquette practices, then headed for the exit ahead of her. Following my so what you're saying is, we have a special package to hold on to. And all of a sudden she's like, oops, sorry, I tripped. Thank you for catching me. I don't trust it. Sister Cornelia shuffled along closely behind me, so in fact that it felt as if she would step on my heels. Something about this just doesn't feel right. Instinctively sliding my right hand into my pocket, searched for my orbit, but the brass feeling I had grown accustomed to was nowhere to be found. In an instant, I felt my arm being twisted behind my back by someone or something with incredible strength. The sleek sound of a blade being unsheathed, and then a warning prick of the tip at the back indicated seriousness of my situation. I have what you're looking for, Toby, whispered Sister Cornelia in an almost inaudible tone, her lips barely moving behind my right ear. Let's not try anything either, shall we? I hate to see your afternoon spoiled any more than it's going to be. And to show that she meant business, Cornelia slightly altered the angle of her grip onto my waist, causing an explosion of agony that sent sparks flashing before my eyes. I knew it. It was too good to be true. Her eyes were red. She was a nun. She sat next to us. Next, you know, she trips into us like, oops, how did that happen? That's crazy. Give me a minute. Let me BRB. So I can prepare for this next segment for reading. Holy. Yeah, but it took me like hours and I screamed.
Finally come.
careful! Don't slip now!
Oh god!
Stick from here, get...
Slow down! Yikes! Oh no! Don't worry, I got this. Trust. He absolutely has a plan going on. Just gotta figure out what it is. Oh. Wow, what a shitty ninja, dude. Okay, never mind, I guess. What the fuck, man? Ain't no way. Ninja just walked up and cut our guy, we didn't do shit. So, also, by the way, I love Winning Ticket's casual outfit, by the way. Where it's a beanie with the ears sticking out. It's just a regular baggy shirt with a sweater. It's very simple, but I love that stuff, you know? Maruzensi isn't that bad either. I don't know why I circled my mouse around that. Oh my goodness. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty nice. And then Special Week, just good. Headband. My. Wait, does that mean you've dumped Mueller? Okay, I like that. Fucking. Alright, let's see more of this Carnelia lady. Sister Carnelia spoke to me in a tender tone. She waved immense pain, sent a wave of immense pain rushing through the whole of my right hand. I won't have any trouble with you now, will I, Toby? She asked, far from eyes just brimming with tears. I nodded my head in consent as the salty streams of water ran down my face. Satisfied with my answer, she loosened her grip, and I felt the pain vanish, as if it had all been some sort of illusion. With a wry smile, she further added, don't get me wrong, Toby. I've been sent here to protect you by the goddess herself. Okay, she is a Grandsritter. Probably. This isn't appropriate for virgin ears. For Tina virgin ears? Yeah? No, she sounds like a Grandsritter. Well, okay. It sounds like she was sent by the church. Special forces type stuff. So maybe she knows Kevin, or like related to that group, you know? This is what she said while instructing me to keep my eyes focused on what lay beyond the window glass. Yet, there was something about the way she pronounced that last syllable of my name that rubbed me the wrong way. Toby? Toby? I don't know. Little by little, a line of passengers began to slowly flow out of the train car. Prodded by his sister Carnelia, I inched forward while keeping my gaze on the platform through the passenger car window. Down the stairs which led to the front ticket gate were the figures of those men from earlier this morning. The three thug-like passengers who'd been loitering near the large horsehead emblem at the Imperial Station. Yeah, these guys were introduced in Chapter 2, where it's like, there were these people watching me. I pretended not to notice. But now they're here. A muffled laugh echoed from her throat as she too noticed them. Well, isn't this a warm reception party you've got going on? Cocking my head, I pleaded quietly. Give me back my ornament! Please! Harder! What? Carnelia said nothing. Members of the crew bid us farewell as we stepped through the exit to disembark the train onto the lead-colored platform below. Angrily, I thought to myself, damn it! What's wrong with these fools? Can't they see what's going on? I shut my eyes halfway to protect them from the drizzle whipping against my face, and I unhurriedly descended the wet set of stairs, a half-pace at a time. Sister Carnelia moved along behind me at precisely the same length of stride. Below, the group of thugs waited expectantly at the bottom of the stairs, waiting for me, no doubt. Contemplating the rate at which I was going, I ultimately believed it was only a matter of time before I would be handed over to the enigmatic group. I caught sight of their soured faces as the distance between us grew smaller, and felt the heat of my left hand tightly gripping my bag in intensity until the palm sweat profusely. Oops. Hitting the midway point on the stairs, Sister Carnelia suddenly whispered in my ear, "Keep your eyes on the ground, Toby." Oh, okay. I did as I was told and cast my gaze down upon the tips of my boots, stained to a darker shade of the rainwater. Then, right at the moment I let out my breath, I felt a deep sense of pressure just below my shoulder blades as I was forcibly shoved forward. Droplets flew from my saturated fingers, and my world turned upside down as I tumbled down the stairs and slammed back into the first group of hoodlums. With a muffled crunch, I felt the painful sensation of my ribs crumple under the weight of my body, and then return to normal from their severely compressed state. Two of the seemingly military men who were hit as I toppled down the stairs, like an avalanche unleashed on a pair of young saplings, observed the transfer of force and were thrown into a large puddle of collecting ground. Okay. Collecting the ground nearby. Got thrown into them. Shrieks erupted from starting passengers, more shrill than the high-pitched sound of the railway brakes from a decelerating locomotive. As my world spun wildly about me, I lay there, chill of the tiles seeping into my back. With a concerted effort, I rolled my eyes to the left where my arm remained in an outstretched state. By the way, while yes, I am already interested in this story, but also, what if there's like a secret thing related to the main plot? Who knows? By some act of the goddess, I had managed to keep my tight 5-finger grip on the bag I had been carrying. In an effort to get up, I slid into a prostrate position, keeping my chin in contact to the ground, making a low visual sweep of vicinity as if my life depended on it. I noticed the military-like physiques of the men had vanished from view. The only figure I saw standing above me now on the platform was that of Sister Cornelia, and on her shoulder, as if she were merely hefting a sack of grain, was one of the men, who, turning in the direction where the train sat in its motionless state, she lobbed the unfortunate man down onto a set of empty rail tracks below. Oh? Hello? You're putting him on the train tracks? By this time, I had risen to one knee while keeping the other planted firmly on the ground, while in a half-standing position. The world in front of me was still swaying, undulating in my wavering eyesight. The head slowly rocked back and forth with it, as the double vision of Sister Cornelia's boots approached me. Let's go. Then with a strong grip, she tugged on my hand. For some reason or another, when she did this, I felt to notice the unpleasant feeling that her hand wrapped tightly around mine brought. Her hand wrapped around mine. Let's go, Toby, she instructed in authoritative voice, nearly dragging me. She pulled me to my feet before long. And before long, we were hightailing it out of there. I don't know why my brain is skipping words. The onlookers made quite a commotion as they moved hastily out of the way in a determined attempt not to be caught in the middle of our flight path. The bag in my left hand swung helplessly, knocking against my thigh. After clearing the ticket gate, Sister Cornelia let go of my hand, but a sickening, slipping sensation came with it. Looking over at her, I realized that the stomach-churning, slimy feeling on my hand came from the bright red blood which stained most of hers. So she was holding his hand, but she also had bloody hands. Yikes. I peered back over my shoulder in the direction of the platform and continued to run. But the figures of those three men who had been waiting for me were nowhere to be found. I sat staring at a partially melted lump of butter on a stack of cold pancakes. Picking up a fork, I poked at them. And after turning the top one over, I daubed milky yellow substance between the rubbery layers. In doing so, my interest in what sat atop my plate faded to nil. A hanging lamp dangled overhead, making a sporadic buzzing sound as its honey-colored light flickered, creating jittery shadows that sort of pretty close to the window. I peered out from a film of water flowing down from outside the glass to try to make out dimly lit avenue. Although the station house set right at the end of the road where we were lodged, it was visible at the side of the structure. Did I skip one? There's nothing to be worried about, Sister Cornelia said as she returned, wiping her hands with a handkerchief as wet as newly driven snow. Stretching the square strip of cloth out, she sat down and placed it near her lap like a napkin. Then, in a reassuring tone, she added, "We've seen the last of them for a while." Watching tips of her fingers move as she smoothed out the wrinkles in the piece of fabric resting on her legs, I was hit with a sudden flashback, reviving the awful sight of coppery scent, which sticky blood had covered those hands for not more than a few hours before. How can you be so certain? I asked, still having more than a few reservations. Because that's how these types of crime syndicates work, she replied, clearly seeming to know all the answers. The waiter came and set a plate in front of Sister Cornelia with a soft clink at the base of the glassy dish tapped lightly against the hard surface of the table. After scooting the meat-laden porcelain plate close to her, she licked off the sauce, now covering the tips of her fingers in an almost sensual way. What the fuck is happening? Holy shit. Was she? Okay. Sickened by the bloody image already in my mind, and now the sauce, I tossed my fork aside and leaned heavily back in my chair. The city outside began to fade into shades of gray by the time Sister Cornelia was finished tucking away her steak. Fucking, so what you're saying is, she just beat the shit out of three guys rather, and she had bloody hands. She just washed them, and now she's eating a bloody steak and licking the red sauce off of her fingers, and he's like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. So the outside became the fade in the shades, as Sister Cornelia was finished tucking away her steak. It had been completely sunk in darkness of night. I questioned her again. How can you be so certain that no one will come after us? Using a piece of black crusted bread to wipe up the drops of sauce, she answered, because that's how they function. One unit consists of 3 people. As if remembering something else important, she added, that group was after you. They're a Jaeger Corps. Jaeger! That's a name I haven't heard in forever. Upon hearing this, I recalled some of those men at the landing port some time ago. Only the most renowned and skilled mercenary groups have the honor of calling themselves the Jaeger Corps, or at least that's what Mick had told me about them. They were soldiers of fortune, who were set to relentlessly follow the flow of Mira, wherever that happened to lead. And they would stop at nothing to get at it, even if it meant spilling blood. Warhawks. Mercenaries without borders. Militares sans frontieres? That's a Metal Gear reference. And a group never to get involved with, is what Mick often had a habit about saying about them. Instinctively, I slid my foot forward and checked the location of my bag with a tip in it. It's quite simple, really, Cornelia explained as she reached for the dessert. You, Toby, are carrying something that's apparently got a lot of people on edge, and someone's hired a Jaeger Corps to take you out. It's not me they're after. It's what I'm carrying. It's all the same, she retorted as she gulped down her cup of tea, single breath. They're going to kill the courier before even thinking about searching the contents of his bag. A butcher kills a cow before someone grows a steak, not the other way around. Lecturing all the while, Sister Cornelia took a glossy, tallow-handled knife in hand and sliced into her apple pie. The powdered sugar sprinkled on the flaky crust danced under the golden light. I felt a stabbing pain of guilt race through me, just above my gut. Unexpectedly, I began to think about what Mick could be doing at this moment. But my short period of rumination was cut short when I saw Sister Cornelia's hand stop cold. Glaring into the darkness, eyes focused, intent like a hunting dog's, she tossed something shiny onto the table and rose to her feet. There it was, my orbment. Where are you going? Without pausing to answer my question, Sister Cornelia expeditiously fastened the buckle of her coat. You've got good taste, Toby. Fuck. Because he thinks she's hot? Maybe? Give him some hope. Dude, I'm liking this Cornelia lady. She got a lot of aura. One at a time, she set her heels on the chair and tightened her bootlaces. Using the full capabilities of that orbit is no small feat. I think even the most bracers would be in for a real surprise. No! Hello, Rai. I hope you're doing well. We're kind of just doing story time. I might be a little sick. Just a little bit. We did fight 2 field bosses and we just turned those in. But in one of the embassies in town, they have a series of books of like a nun lady who knows how to fight and do shit. It's cool. Still ill. Yes. Well, yes. I should worry about getting better, to be honest. Probably gone another week, hopefully for Christmas. I just need to drink lots of water. I think that's where I've been going wrong, right? I do have like a bottle of water that I drink from occasionally, but as of late, due to like work and stuff, I've been drinking some soda and other things that aren't water. Oh man. Let's see. So what exactly is going? That's none of your concern, came the answer. Suffice it to say, I will be seeing you again on the morrow. And with that, Sister Cornelia disappeared through the door of the women's restroom. As if exchanging places, two other men entered the restaurant. They walked directly to a table which sat and stood before me. Oh, flashing the emblem on its chest without making any sort of eye contact. We're with the Bracer Guild. Bracer Guilds are the good guys, Jaegers are the bad guys. As a heads up. Ouroboros also the bad guys, but I don't think they're in this story at all. Bosses are hard, not their fault your cuteness causes that reaction. They're too strong for me! I apologize for disturbing you in the middle of your evening meal, but you'll need to come with us. The Bracer Guild. My ornament, empty in a package, wrapped in old magazine paper, were laid out neatly on the table in front of me. The Bracer sitting up opposite him. Dude, it's been forever since I've read anything outside of chat or YouTube titles. Can't believe it. It's been a while. The Bracer sitting opposite of me gazed alternately at my face and the items on the table, as if trying to gauge my reaction to them. Constantly rubbing his chin between his fingers, it appeared to me as though he were making an effort to display his right hand, snugly fit within a leather gauntlet. I'd been led to the second floor of the lodge by two men, and then, after they had been painstakingly checked the layout of the floor, I was sitting to the far of this room from the stairs. It occurred to me that the reason for the use of the makeshift space was due to there being no guild rank nearby. Oh, right. So, this plays into something that they explained in the main story. It's not a big deal, but Bracer Guilds, which are like community service, some do fighting, some do other stuff, mainly fighting. Those weren't established until after the war, which is when this takes place. Ad sucked my head. I'm sorry, Rai. I'm sorry about the ads. Clayton. Ooh, okay. First man to sit in front of me was a lanky one. Told me his name, but as soon as I forgot which one was Clayton and which one was Pavel. Ooh, Clayton and Pavel. I've heard these names before. Was Xbox. What was Xbox? Oh, an Xbox ad. I see. That's weird because I'm playing on Steam. Also, no one's gonna touch an Xbox ever again, I think. About the time I had finished being frisked, the Bracers were wearing the gauntlets. Clayton or Pavel, whoever it was, returned and whispered something in his partner's ear. It seemed as though they were trying to locate Sis Cornelia, but having no luck. Sis Cornelia was the one who snuck away. After much probing on the subject of her and the Jaeger Corps, and after relating everything I had heard from her on the train, I turned the conversation around, playing the role of the victim, inquired about her past theory. Though strictly speaking, I guess I was, in fact, a victim. Her name is Selnet. Ein Selnet. Did you lie? Did this guy just lie to her? Lie about her name? The lanky bracer from Pocket... Oh, no. The bracer's telling us her name. Her true name. I don't see point. I don't go out for long with free time. Warrant a portable handheld. I agree. Yeah, the rogue ally. Whatever it was called. I guess they're making their own Steam Deck. At this point... Okay, right. Hear me out. Why buy an Xbox version of the Steam Deck when you can just buy a Steam Deck? Because 90% of the Xbox games are already ported to PC, right? So that's already one thing. And then yeah, if I'm going out, I'm going to go out to do something. I'm not going to sit around and play video games in one place. Unless maybe it's like a night trip? Maybe? Originally a constituent member of the Jaeger Corps, her personal affiliation and activities are unknown. In short, his partner added pompously, she's not the type of person any upsetting situation should be getting involved in. Oh, we're getting all up in that. Toby's getting all up in that Sister Cornelia. You know that. He rested his gauntlet-clad hand and picked up an object bundled in scrap paper, checking my reaction all the while. He unwrapped the paper, laying it flat on the center of the table. Its contents turned out to be a lump of metal ingrained in some sort of clay-like substance. Ooh. I blurted out, I was on my way to a research institute with the item, everything happened. And then threw in the address of some non-existent clients for good measure. Bracers took notes, making sure not to leave out any details of our conversation. Oh, they're gonna call you out. Then, to dispel any lingering suspicions, I agreed to stay with them under their watchful eyes for the night. The next day, I found myself inclined to go along with them to the nearest Bracer Guild branch in order to file a report about the events that happened back at the station. But I had no qualms over the matter. My greatest concern, after all, was not running into any more trouble. I awoke as the sun came up over the horizon and day broke. With the advent of a peaceful morning, I sat up in bed and breathed a sigh of relief. The bracers who had stood up guard in the previous night were no longer present in the room, but the sound of their voices could be heard echoing out in the hallway beyond the closed door. Slipping my arms into the sleeves of my jacket, I felt a sharp pain in my right elbow, which brought back vivid memories of the woman of the day before. Right, Sister Cornelia put us in like an arm lock, which was kind of hot. Suddenly, the feeling of uneasiness came over me, and still half undressed, I began adjusting my orbment. After opening its back cover, I used a thin piece of tan dough skin and started plucking up the quartz installed in each slot. It didn't take but 5 minutes to insert them into different slots and rearrange the configuration with a set of light magic as my base. One by one, I replaced each screw until the metallic panel was finally back in place. And as feeling a calmness I set in, I rolled back over my bed. It was at the time that a tall woman appearing to be a maid, opened the door carrying a basin of hot water for the sink, with which guests could shave and wash their faces. After placing the small steaming tub on the table, the woman went quietly about her daily task of removing the bed linen. I found myself shooed from my own bed and reluctantly headed towards the basin when just beyond the door opening, I caught sight of two shadows cutting across the hallway in succession. "They're here," I heard myself mutter as a low tone of suppressed voice reached my ears. With only a bar of soap in hand, I remained unbelievably calm as I quickly shut and bolted the door. Then, pondering my next move, I stood still with my back pressed up against the wall. On the other side of the hardened clay wall, a brief clamor of fighting ensued, fumbling with the chain attached to my hip. I grabbed hold of the orbment I had just adjusted barely moments before. It was two bracers versus the other two I had seen moments ago. Throwing myself into the mix with two men from the guild would definitely put us at an advantage from a numbers standpoint. However, when I turned again to face the door, the voice of the self-doubt came percolating through my closed lips in the form of a distant mutter. "There are only two of them?" I murmured. If Cornelia's words were believed, then a unit consisted of 3, not 2. Again, I questioned myself, then where's the third? The hair on the back of my head stood as I realized my plight. "Because they're going after you, man!" Swung down over the top of my head, catching me around the neck. Next instant, I was flung to the ground. Ooh. In the corner of my blurred, spotty vision came explicitly a view of a woman with demonic, bloodshot eyes standing before me, trying to wrench the very life out of me with the twist of a sheet she had wrapped tightly around my throat. "Oh, you're gonna die!" Clutch an orbment in hand, I activated and fired off the burst of magic while laying half asphyxiated on the wooden planks of the room before. The destructive vortex of compressed air sliced steeply into my hip, but at the same time caused the woman to double over, forcefully blowing her to another part of the room. Shreds of whirling linen flecked and sprayed with the fresh blood blasted out through a gaping hole in the wall where a closed window once stood, leaving behind nothing but shards. Okay. Just making sure. Oops. I wish there was like a backup. Yeah, okay. And what I just read was chapter 6. Okay, cool. And then there's only 5 more chapters. Again, I think today it's just gonna be a chill stream now because we already took care of the quest in this area. I just want to talk to a few more people and shop a bit more. And then we will probably finish up that chapter and close stream. I wonder if my father and mother in the Empire is safe. Olivier left the other day, and I wonder if he's alright. Not being able to communicate with your own country in a situation like this is terrifying, I'll admit. So much reading, so little time. If we're not gonna get anything to sell coming to us, we'll have to get our own stock to sell ourselves. If there's anything we can do about it, we'll do the heck out of what we can do. Okay. Are we good in ingredients? A little bit, actually. We're fine, I think. Oh yeah, we're perfect. We're perfect. What about you? Oh, just accessories. That's fine. Wait. Cattail. Makes the wearer lighter on their feet. Okay. We have cattail and cat pajamas. Do we have cat ears? Cattail, right? Cat suit. If you tell me that there are cat shoes somewhere, that'd be great. Right, I just wanted to check in with this lady here at this embassy. Again, what a name though. Hello, Ambassador Cochrane. Estelle, good timing. I'll put this to you directly. Do you have any information about the situation? Given that the Royal Army seems to be acting quite calmly and confidently, I assume this situation was predicted. She's sharp. It appears I've let myself get a bit flustered by it as well. I can guess Lyra has its own circumstances. Even if you knew anything, you probably couldn't tell me everything. Sorry, don't worry about it. Think about if our positions were reversed, I can't really complain. Ambassador Cochrane. Let me just ask one thing though. Are we okay to just wait like this? What? She's asking if we can leave it to the Bracer Guild. To us, in other words. Yes, of course! Right now, the Bracer Guild and the Royal Army are putting their full force into investigating. I'm sure we'll resolve this phenomenon and get things back to normal. Please do. Okay. Cool. We didn't have ornaments when I was young, but not really fussed about what that they're out now. Ooh, I understand why one would worry, since ornaments are common nowadays, but perhaps this is exactly when I can be of aid to the ambassador. And this were the new, the blue, Doll Knight series, sorry. Alright, let me save real quick. File. Save. I'll do one more BRB, because again, reading takes a lot out of me. Well, reading out loud specifically. I feel like if I was reading quietly, it would be fine. But I want to read out loud so I can listen back to what I was saying. Oh, you know what? Let's check out the museum real quick. Hello. Welcome. This is your museum's free for all at the behest of the Queen, who hopes our service will help the citizens relax in some way. Hope everything can go back to normal soon. Right. What a curious design. I wish we could... There are 4 types of airships for each town, right? Plus the capital ship, which is what we're using right now. Okay, back to the embassy. It's Gransel landing port. Ornaments are down, right? What does this guy have to say? Currently, all orbital energy is suspended. None of our aircrafts are able to fly. We'll gladly offer refunds. Okay. Right. And let me do a BRB and we'll be right back to read this. The serious girl. And that went downhill. for this girl, I was trying to be modest and be like, no, I'm not that great. And she's like, how dare you put yourself down? The only girl that I've been like on the up and up with is the Baiken looking tomboy girl, Hatsuo. Holy shit, dude. I am awful at this. That one! Look at my negative Riz! Oh no! I'm bad at this. I'm already freaking out. Oh, that worked? Ladies, if someone just walks up to you and says you're gorgeous, does that work? Oh shit, that's Yuffie! Wait, hold on, that's just Yuffie. Hello? Hello? Hey, long time no see, girl. How you doing? Holy shit. I didn't expect to meet you here. And she's already getting her shit wrecked. I love this game. I love this game so much.
Looking for someone to train you, then look no further.
Sister, let's go. Let's train together. Join our party.
Or materia required.
Join us, please. Dude, what is Reeve doing right now? Right? I need to know how he's controlling Kate Sit. Is it a bodysuit? Is it a remote control? Is there like a built-in AI? You know, that uses the personality as he makes requests? I don't know.
Let's go.
Oh shit, it's time to run, and we are Aerith again because fuck Cloud, dude. No. I understand what she's saying. You know, so the mood up thing, I think is pretty accurate. If you're in a bad mood and you're thinking all these bad thoughts, you're not gonna do so great, and you're not gonna go all out during your races, you know? Or at least whatever you're doing in real life. Are the kids inside? No, they're actually a minority for class. Traveling priest comes by once a week and holds Sunday school for us. Alright, and we are back. Yeah, so an idea that I had was, again, maybe I'll cut these down. As soon as I get the VOD, I'll probably cut it down to like core moments. And then if you want to see the full VOD, the VOD will be up itself anyway. Maybe? We'll see. Anyway, Chapter 7, Death of a Friend. Wheezing, I breathe in. Sound of high and whistling as the air fought to make it through my constricted windpipe. Alright, an assassin showed up to choke you out. Poor Toby. Still clutching tightly to my ornament, I unwound the sheets from my throat, utterly exhausted. I tilted my head on its side and watched as the red eyes, as a small stream of saliva dribbled down off the edge of my mouth and pulled on the floor. When the fresh air finally made its way into my lungs, it initially choked me nearly as bad as the sheet had. A thump from somewhere behind startled me from my fit. The Jaeger demoness, like a spring-loaded doll, leaped up from the floor of the room. Demoness, you say? The single shot of magic I had previously landed in her gut should have done the trick, but the fluid way she moved about made it appear as if she was unfazed by the blast. Within arm's reach of where I had subconsciously curled myself, came the splintering sound of unseasoned wood being hewn down by a giant woodcutter's axe. In the following instant, Sister Cornelia came flying through the newly opened hole in the timber door. Let's go! She entered, her entry punctuated by a cloud of splinters, her arms pliant as whips. She passed by the female Jaeger in a lightning-quick motion, and with a turtling assault, clocked her opponent full tilt in the face. The woman spun with the force of one blow and fell with its miraculous thud, her head cracking against the heart of the floor. Like a prima ballerina, Sister Cornelia raised her knee high until she had tucked it securely against her sternum. She stared down at the outstretched figure of the floor, muscles flexed stand without an ounce of mercy. Sister Cornelia let her judgment fall with the heel of her boot, stomping down and crushing the wretched woman's throat. Holy shit. Holy shit, okay. So she broke in, stepped on her neck. As I witnessed the grotesque and unsightly scene, Sister Carnelia gave me a quick glance in my direction and beckoned me on. What was her name? Selness, I think? Then, with a nimble hop in the unknown before her, she cleared the broken window frame and lightened to the ground below. Quickly scraping my belongings together, I made after her in the same manner as she had left. Out the window with a 2-story drop with the cobblestone side road below. Waiting close by and helping to break my less than elegant fall, Sister Carnelia led me on as we took the flight along the avenue, brightly lit by the morning sun. A deafening blare from an orbital engine's whistle indicated the first train was about to depart. Sister Carnelia immediately pulled a ticket out of her coat pocket and held it out to me from the side. Reaching for the fluttering strip of paper between her fingers, I realized that I was still carrying the bar of soap from from before, so I chucked it, not caring where it landed or who it might hit. Aboard the train, a smoggy haze from the incessant smoking of the nattered gentleman had permeated into every nook and cranny of the passenger car. There was also a smell of the newly printed publications and the occasional sound of someone clearing their throat. It felt rather awkward to have boarded a train bound for the Imperial City with my bag stuck in my head. "Do you know what your problem is, Toby?" Sister Carnelia remarked. "You're just like that orbman of yours." Using her white handkerchief, she snatched the flow of blood from my leg, which had been lacerated by spinning arrow blades of magic. Ugh, gross. That sounds gross. Once you get into trouble, you keep digging yourself into deeper and deeper until someone comes along with a billy club and whacks some good sense in you. Placing a folded magazine on my lap, she tapped on it and with the nail tip of her index finger indicated that I should read what was inside. It was a copy of the Imperial Chronicle, which had been published just that morning. A several-line article buried pages beneath more than titillating news told the suspicious death of one Orba factory owner somewhere within the capital. And it was the first time I had ever become aware of mixed real age. Holy shit. So basically, the guy who got us into the business in the first place, since chapter 1, and sent us on this quest, is fucking dead. Ain't that wild? Sister Carnelia continued her lecture as she mercilessly upbraided me for my reckless behavior. "You missed being caught up in all of this by a hair's breadth," she informed me coolly. At a loss for words over the shock of Mick's death, I put the magazine away in my trenchcoat pocket. "You killed him?" "Yeah, I killed him. I shouldn't have..." As soon as I heard his name in chapter 1, I should have been like, he has to go. We have to kill him. I'm sorry. Goodbye, Mick. Another 5 minutes in that shop and you would have gone to meet your maker too. So basically, he died as soon as we left town. Holy shit. I shook my head with trembling lips, letting my thoughts fumble out of my mouth. I just don't get it. Why did Mick have to die? Images of Mick's cold body behind the counter alternated in my mind with that of the lump of metal wrapped in a scrap paper. Just what the hell had I been carrying all this time? And why did everyone have to die over it? Yeah, we still don't know what the orbment is. He hasn't used it yet, I think. Sister Carnelia met my eyes and held them. Because it's an artifact. Oh, she's a graduator! I knew it! Okay, she is the same type of person that Kevin is, where they are enlisted by the church to find divine artifacts that can do magical shit. Oh my god. I'm glad I put that together right off the bat. I said it like, what, back in chapter 3? Because it's an artifact. An artifact, I scoffed as I blew her off. It's not like I could have carried a bunch of them before. Oh, it's not like I haven't carried a bunch of them before. Artifacts, in short, are the remaining legacy of ancient civilization, and the generic term for any unidentified mechanism which resembled that of an orbment. I spent my days as a courier smuggling any number of those items under false pretense that the goods I were carrying were nothing more than rare antiques, and rarely placed them in the hands of those aristocrats, amongst whom they were especially in vogue. So basically, he gave out a lot of these already, doing his courier job. He's done this already so many times, not even thinking that they could be magic. And for the most part, my current possession appeared to as though it belonged to the same group as the others. Personally, I could find no other value in collecting these artifacts besides the indulgence of oneself in a decadent hobby, but no, they do shit. Chiding me as if I were a clueless child, Sis Cornelia rebuked. You're wrong, Toby. This one's much more different than the others. After a moment's pause, she added, It's alive? It's alive? What the fuck do you mean it's alive? It's an ornament that can move on its own? We gotta put that shit... Okay, hear me out. Dull Knight series. A lot of puppets being controlled by puppet masters. Like Naruto type shit. What if we put the living ornament in one of them? Unable to grasp what she meant, I looked at her face, questioning expression on my face. Sister Cornelia tried again. What I'm trying to tell you is that it still works. Oh, that's what she meant. Although, I'm not really sure what kind of power it actually has. It was on Earth during the evacuation within the Empire's territory about 30 years ago. Huh. Sister Cornelia's subsequent story about the peculiar lump of metal told me of the dark history surrounding a group of aristocrats who relentlessly sought after it. When do the 13 factories come into play? The artifact itself had transitioned from one hand to another by those in power. As one after another, they were murdered by while slumbering in their bedchambers. Ah, of course. Anyone who had it mysteriously died. Then, at the end of the 100 Days War, its whereabouts were said to have been lost. And strangely enough, it finally turned up in the capital after all this time, she said. An announcement chimed in the passenger car notifying that those riding the scheduled time of arrival. Sis Cornelia uncrossed and recrossed her long legs. Okay. Huh. One of the... the one who's after the artifact hired that Jaeger Corps to bring it to them, whatever the cost. So as a result, I was dispatched by the church in order to protect both you and it from falling into their hands. I sat staring down at the bag, resting at next to my feet as we approached our next destination. The train moved quietly as we began to lose speed. Okay. That was the Imperial City. Moving purposefully through the crowd, we made our way between the rows of seats. Each time the swinging bag in hand struck the side of my knee, I became keenly aware of its presence. And it was an unnerving feeling, quite like I had felt unintentionally brushed up against someone in an offensive way. Furthermore, it was nearly inconceivable to my mind that the ancient relic of the Jaeger Corps were pursuing with such frenzy was still sitting right here beside me, inside the bag stitch cloth of this cheapened hand. Okay. What a fool Mick had been. Had he known the burn of this object would bring, would be one far more weighty than both of us could ever have hoped to bear. Well, let me reset my eyes. I squeezed my eyes shut through the thoughts flying around my mind and addressed Sister Cornelia, who followed me closely behind. Will we be making a break for the cathedral once we get off? Yes, that was the plan, she answered, scanning the scene outside the window of the passenger car. I think that's the only option we've got if you wanted to make it through this day alive. The station where the train was set to arrive was unremittingly crowded with countless droves of passengers, and as usual, the sky was slightly overcast. Everyone outside on the platform stood shivering in silence, with their collars drawn up to their ears, huddling close to one another for a warmth like a flock of waterfowl on tidelands in midwinter. Don't worry, I won't be tossing you down a flight of stairs this time, Toby, jested Sister Cornelia. Although, if there were 2 more of you at my disposal, I might have decided otherwise. Oh yeah? Evidently, the numbers in our welcome party this time had seen a rather dramatic increase. The odds don't appear to be in our favor, she said in a low voice, her warm breath tickling the lobe of my ear. We won't be able to leave through the ticket gate. As soon as we stepped off the train, we stealthily moved to the opposite end of the platform, and after sneaking out a large door only for authorized station personnel, we jumped down the path of the railroad ties and steel rails below. The biting cold wind of the capital swept freely across the unobstructed railroad tracks, causing me to shudder as it ruffled our coats with its chilly touch. Slipping between the couplers of a pair of freight cars, we moved cautiously along their edge, sticking close to the shadows. Over on the cargo platform. Yeah. Workers were busy unloading containers. For someone who had his mind set on becoming a dealer of pilfered goods, gaining illicit entry into the station house would be one of the first of all basics. Sharing my ticket, I spoke politely to one of the workers. Then, with the scenario picked out in my head, I told him that I played the part of a manager here on business with a celebrity of notable repute. Midway through the conversation, I introduced Sister Cornelia, who did her best to show me a glamorous smile and feminine pose. I had possibly gone a bit overboard when I stated that she was an opera singer, because the way she carried herself made her look more akin to a low-wage sell song in a bar of drunkards. Yikes. You know, I might have oversold it, saying that she was a singer, because she doesn't look like it. She looks like she'd sing in a bar, maybe. You're so good, it's almost scary, Toby, Sister Cornelia said as we raced to the station's warehouse sector. You should seriously consider doing another job. She went on. I bet you're going to tell me to join the Bracer Guild, right? Come on. Those guys would turn me down in a heartbeat. I said. I laughed off the thought. Then, throwing the idea back in her court, I asked, so how about yourself? Why don't you join the Bracer Guild? Reaching the end of the warehouse sector, we came to a stop in front of a large chain link fence. Sister Cornelia crouched down and, while sliding a drainage cover to the side, laughed at my previous question. Are you kidding? They'd gun me down the second I set foot in one of their branches. What kind of criminal are you, Sister Cornelia? You work for the church, right? You get a pass, maybe? The winding narrow stone tunnels like the ones we ran in everywhere beneath the capital. We crawled along as the shining light shining down the drainage grates on the side of the large road above us illuminated the way like a trail of flickering orbital lampposts. The feet of those walking along the avenue passed right by where we were, but not a single person noticed us scraping our way along below them. And as for some strange reason or another, the world just beyond the thin flagstone paved road appeared so dazzling in my eyes. Yet the Jaeger, loss of the artifact in hand, and a senseless sudden death, all of which had never crossed my mind before, lay in wait for me. Dared I venture into the open world above? As we pressed on, I began to think about the small, round tunnel, which we were crawling through would run on forever. When it finally merged with a high-ceilinged sewer surrounded by the walls of countless blocks and chiseled stone, we'll go through here and make our way over to where the cathedral is located, Sister Cornelia insisted, raising one brow. We took a train, so we're back in Erebonia, right? A cathedral in Erebonia. I don't think we've seen a place like that. It's a lot safer down here than it is up there. That's fine and all, but what are we gonna do if it gets attacked? Sister Cornelia grabs my hand, and with that stepped into muddy darkness. Don't worry, Toby, she said. Faith isn't the only thing supporting the church. We have guns, maybe. The flicker of dying orbital lamps mounted at the equidistant lengths of sewer walls and thin streaks of light. As her front, Sister Cornelia sped down the stone sidewalk as the sound of her body cutting through the racing tunnels trailed behind her. Panting out a breath, I continued to move my feet toward the darkness which lay before me. As I chased Sister Cornelia's flickering shadow. Wayward, yet without a moment of repose, we headed unrelentingly with our sights set on the Cathedral of the Sapien Church. We moved swiftly across the moss-covered stone pavement, and clacking our heels echoing in the dimly lit underground. Above ground, the walking distance on the city roads from the railway station to the cathedral was about 3 blocks. We made our way up and through the drainage ditch just beyond the sluice gate. We would find ourselves in the public square outside the massive sanctuary. Up ahead, light of another orbital lamp came into view, turning her head my direction, and without a word, Sister Cornelia extended her right hand outward in a wide motion indicating that we'd be turning that way at the next corner. Then, as if preparing for something, she rolled out both shoulders in a grinding motion and relieved the last of her tension with a pop of her neck. It seemed to me that she knew all too well what was looking in the tenebrous conduit ahead. Tenebrous means dark, I think. Under the unsteady and sporadic coruscation of light, the body of Sister Cornelia surged around the corner and disappeared from view. 1, 2, 3. Went the walloping echoes, followed by the sound of something being rolled into the channel of filthy sludge. As I turned around the corner, the first things which leapt into my sight were those of contorted figures of 2 men on the ground, whom I barely missed treading on. Sister Cornelia, who was by this time several steps ahead, continued at her usual pace as if nothing happened during the preceding seconds. "It's Cornelia!" came an angry but noticeably wavering voice came from behind. I glanced in my rear to locate its source, and there I found a man who dragged himself from the fecal-filled liquid gross, now lying next to his dead comrade, yelling in his dying breath. "Cornelia, she's down here!" He managed to croak before falling silent and still. Sister Cornelia paid no attention, nor made any effort to look back. Well, I guess the faster you get out, the faster it's fine. I turned my face forward and followed her example. The walls of the conduit leading directly to the sluice gates squared out into an ominous mouth of darkness, seemingly waiting for its unsuspecting meal. Sister Cornelia gradually slowed her pace to match mine, as I had by this time been completely exhausted and out of breath. "It looks like these guys are dead serious about getting their hands on that item this time," she said as she focused her eyes on the darkness before us. "So are those men old friends of yours or something?" I inquired. Sister Cornelia turned to face me with her dark and scarlet eyes. "Is that what you heard from those bracers the other day?" she asked. I nodded my head and questioned her no further. With my head slightly turned down, I forced myself onward, eyes fixed on tips of my boots. Unexpectedly, Sister Cornelia opened her mouth and said, "Do you remember that woman you had a run-in with back in the inn?" "Oh, yeah, okay. The whole reason I gave up my life as a mercenary is because I didn't want to meet a tragic end like that," she continued. "A life of no meaning, forgotten by all." I looked up to Sister Cornelia and, seeing a slight show of mention in the side of her face, heard her repeat the same line of words a few more times before finishing her thought. "If I'm gonna cash in my life's chips, then I think it's best that I fight for something worth fighting for. At least that way, I'd be able to leave the legacy of my existence behind." Taking in her words, I ran steadily beside her as I felt a sense of nondescript apprehension slowly begin to creep over me. During the short intervals between breaths, suddenly I seemed as if I was hearing the faint sound of sloshing water from behind, which caused me to prick up my ears and turn my head in its direction. "Oh, they're coming! They're coming for you! You noticed too, huh, Toby?" Sister Cornelia slowed her step until finally coming to a complete stop. "Ooh, they blockaded us from behind, so there's no turning back now," she said, the direness of our situation heavy in her voice. We had arrived at an intersection where the conduit we were in and another crossed paths and were just beyond the wide, fatigued flow of sewage water below us. I could see the dimly lit sluice gate. I placed my back against the damp bricks of the nearest wall and for a moment tried to catch my breath. "They're probably lying in waiting for us," Sister Cornelia assessed stolidly after glaring across the flowing sewage of the merged channels and then turning her head to the rear and narrowing her eyes. "And unfortunately, this time, we won't be able to circumvent them, so we have to fight." With a sound of composure revealing her utmost resolve, Sister Cornelia took in a few breaths. I laid hand on my ornament, gripping the palm of my sweaty hand, and then wrapped the strap around my bag, securely around my opposite wrist. Then, as always, Sister Cornelia checked her boots before standing. Then, taking a few steps back, holding my breath, I raced towards and darted towards the steady flow of waste. Nope, we're at chapter 10. Oh man, we're almost done. We're almost done. Sister Cornelia made such haste that she aimed for the path, the opposite side of the sludge-filled channel, that I could have sworn she was actually running on this liquid surface. Jesus. Based on my observation of the minuscule patterns her feet produced, and of course she passed me by in the blink of an eye. Space growing wider and wider between us as I continued to trudge my way through the filthy muck. Flashes of magic erupted from darkness by the sluice gate and ripped through the air in a rapid succession. But none of them could overtake the speed at which Sister Cornelia moved. In an unyielding offensive by the shadowed aggressors, the settled feculent, gross, I think that's shit, in the channel of the depths of the channel was thrown up in a form of powerful tsunami. And the instant before clearing myself from its destructive path, I feared the terrible wall of sedimented filth would crush me under its weight. Oh, they flooded the fucking sewers? That's gross. With a mid-air spin to avoid the last of the oncoming magic, Sister Cornelia flew to the opposite side of the channel with incredible speed, hurdling the wall, piled up sandbags between which attackers took cover. She rolled her arms in a ferocious onslaught. Onslaught is a good name. Transformers. One by one, like a row of pins struck by a weighted object, the line of standing Jaegers crumbled to the ground. Sister Cornelia's attacks were like a whirlwind of death, blurry with the speed at which they struck. They came in, advancing at inconceivable angles, puncturing throats, open arteries, and they were gone. Wow, she's a fucking killer. She's not just knocking them out, she's like, no, you're dying. So it was that when I finally reached the cobbled path beyond the stagnant channel. Not a soul was left standing beside Sister Cornelia and myself. Cathedral's at the end of a ladder just beyond this gate, she indicated as she flicked drops of blood from her fingers like a child who forgot her handkerchief to dry her wet hands. Her eyes shone with an afterglow of battle. Jaegers can't be far behind, so we'd better hurry, she warned. And as if to punctuate her warning, the damp sound of numerous feet kicked up water as they advanced toward our present location had now become clearly audible to my ears. Stepping over a handful of Jaeger corpses lying scattered about behind the wall of sandbags, we made our way clear for the dry blood channel which lay before us. I placed my hands on the slightly damp stone of the empty channel and crawled through the half-open door of sluice gate. A falling water droplet struck the nape of my neck as I passed through the cramped opening, causing me to stop dead in my tracks. In the moment that I followed, recognized the sound of an orbman over her head on the verge of discharging a burst of magic. Toby! Came the ostensible voice of Sister Cornelia, as my vision became instantly flooded with a wave of exceeded brightness. Then, in the midst of the world of blinding light, came the hand of a savior which grabbed me firmly by the shoulder. The powerful feeling of being dragged by the explosion produced by magic rupturing stone were simultaneous, as the booming roar swept across the whole of my body. I was thrown backwards towards the ground. Despite my clouded vision, I managed to somersault before landing in prone position, choking on the filth puddle I had fallen face down in. Gross. I lifted my head in time to see a cloud of blackened dust being heaved from my mouth of the halfway raised sluice gate door. And, as if my worst nightmare had now become reality, I watched as one after another the blockading Jaegers emerged from cloudy smoke, each bearing in a glinting blade. I floundered about on the slippery mud and watched their ranks spring into action and close the inn. The rugged facial features now visible to my eyes, instantly rolling to my side, I unsheathed my hidden blade. Assassins. I attempted to deflect a wide-arching slash from with my other bag. The cloth of the bag, over which a sharp edge ran, split open without a sound, and the paper-wrapped ornament fell onto the cobbled floor. Oh, that's what they're after. Frantically, I searched for the ornament at my side, but was unable to get a grip on it because of my clumsy, panic-stricken state. One of the mercenary men, his eyes intent on my throat, drew back his long sword to end my life. But before he could make a move, a dark silhouette appeared from behind him. It was Sister Cornelia. Her hands, moving with such finesse, disarmed the man in an instant, and left only his sword behind before he was launched from view into the hanging shadows veiling the dank conduit. As the sound of the falling sword struck the ground with a high-pitched clink, Sister Cornelia dropped to her knees, her soft whispering words were full of regret. I'm sorry, Toby. With her head bowed forward, I watched in disbelief as several streaks of blood began to run down the side of her face. Did she kill me? Oh, wait. Did she kill us? No. No. I think she just failed to save us, maybe. With her head bowed forward, I watched in disbelief as several streaks of blood began to run down the side of her face. Looks like the goddess may be calling you home too. Once again, Sister Cornelia rose to her feet, her coat hanging in tatters, iron outer garments rugged state. I knew for certain it had been caused by a previous blast of magic. In order to protect me from harm, Sister Cornelia had willingly used her body as a shield to absorb the brunt of the force. And now, a stain of effervescing crimson blood had begun to seep through the cloth covering her breast. I swept up the artifact which had tumbled to the ground from the hole in my severed bag and tore away the wet paper which covered its surface. Then, with the clump of cold metal in hand, I placed it atop my ornament as I gripped them both tightly together. So she's dying right now. Breast! Oh man. She's dying though. Holy shit. Let me see. Oh man. And now a stain of crimson blood seeped through the cloth covering her breast. Yeah, she's bleeding out. Maybe the ornament can heal her, or revive her, or turn her into Idios herself. I don't know. The sound of footfall from the Jaeger corpse had now been subsided. They stood in a cluster with their swords drawn, effectively blocking any possible escape through the sluice gate. Sister Cornelia let out a shrill cry, and I, as if taking the sound to be a command to attack, unleashed the energy pent up within my ornament. The device roared. In the instant the magic was discharged, I felt an intense wave of searing heat graze over my cheek as my entire body was immediately blown backwards by its force. Stunned, I collapsed onto the floor. When I finally forced my eyes open, I could see Sister Cornelia standing above me with her back turned to face me. Her right arm had lost all strength to function and simply hung limply at her side. Dazedly, she slid to her knees and slumped down onto the ground before me. I pulled Sister Cornelia close to myself and hugged her tightly. Blasted a pack of assailing mercenaries with an instantaneous wave of magic, but then it was all over. My last stand ending as soon as it began. Countless razor-sharp swords stared down at us from all sides, convinced that I had finally reached my life's terminus. Goddamn. I raised my right hand while placing a false hope in my ornament that it could somehow protect us. I activated it, and with the last of its energy being consumed as it was drained to empty. Whirling arrow blades span around us as I closed my eyes and accepted my fate, and began my darkened eyelids. An endless realm of whiteness began to spread out before me. We're at the end, and I think we might get an achievement. Who knows? Well, I have to get to the end. I was swallowed by the light, only to be spewed moments later onto a patch of hardened ground. What? Swallowed by light, but put onto the ground? Teleported, maybe? The air was filled with the scent of sun-baked earth, yet beyond the floor of some grandiose, heavenly estate inherited by those in the afterlife. It felt like the flagstones I had grown accustomed to in my past life. Upon feeling around in my immediate surroundings, my searching hand found soft locks of disheveled hair. It seemed as though Sister Cornelia had come to as well as I to meet our Creator firsthand. Gradually, as I lay there, I felt something warm swallow through the pit of my stomach. Weary and spent, I just let the feeling spread over me. It was at about this time that the sound of murmurous voices started to fill the air around us. A warm breath tickled my nose and brow, letting me know that I was being stared at directly in the face. As my eyes adjusted to the intensity of light, I realized that I was looking into the face of a young girl who beamed back at me brightly with the wildest of smiles. However, she seemed a bit young to hold the esteemed position of the goddess. Okay, so maybe we're just in a church, maybe we're alive, maybe we got teleported, who knows? The knell of a bell overhead rang out loud and clear. Strangely, it sounded exactly like the cathedral's distinctive toll. Taking in this series of events to be rather odd, I picked myself up and at least awakened from the dream which had temporarily invaded my senses. There it was, the familiar cityscape. The sounds and even the scent of the breeze. I knew the place by heart. It was the public square of the Imperial City, which has unfolded before the great cathedral of the Septian Church. I opened the fingers on my right hand and stared down at the metallic lump in its palm. Entrusted to me by Mikt, golden filaments of light swirled across the surface of the artifact, and I instantly recalled Sister Cornelia's words. "It's alive," she said. And I as watched the ancient light gradually fade away before closing my hand and around the surface once more. I believed it, supporting each other, wrapping our arms around one another's shoulders. Sister Cornelia and I hobbled and limped our way towards the magnificent cathedral as the awe-inspiring figure of the goddess Aidios stood silently with unfurled wings, watching over us from the deep-hued stained glass window above. And for the events which followed, they were all settled in an orderly fashion. The metallic clump which Sister Cornelia had daringly risked her life for was turned over to His Eminence, the Cardinal, who had presided over the cathedral. He disappeared with it through the thick open door of the sacred vault. The level of corruption which had spread like a plague among members of the imperial court, influential aristocrats, and even commissioned officers in the imperial army astonished even those mediators acting on behalf of the Bracelet Guild. Huh. What? Huh. Okay. It's just the government that's corrupt, not the priest itself. I stayed close by Sister Cornelia as she was laid out on a pew within the chapel of the cathedral. The sisters of the church delicately pulled off her coat and cut open her vest, now stuck to her body with dried blood. Ugh, gross. It's one thing to get wounded, it's another thing to get your blood stuck to the clothes. Gross. Poo, you know what? They are a mess. Hopefully they get cleaned up sometime soon. Upon doing so, they found an ornate shirt of chainmail just beneath the layer of her clothing, which for some strange reasons seemed to bewilder them all. The next day, a certain aristocrat who had hired the Jaeger Corps to carry out this selfish bidding agreed to relinquish the artifacts in his possession for keeping his estate. So basically, the church is like, hey, we know it was you who hired the guys to kill our guys. And the guy's like, no, please, keep me out of jail, please. Hence, his collection of forbidden antiques were brought under the safekeeping of the Septian Church. Sworn to secrecy, I made an immediate arrangement to take leave for Calvard Republic. Okay, you're gonna be in Calvard then, huh? The next arc? We still have one more game that takes place here, but the next two games after that take place in... No, not Calvard. Not Calvard. Crossbell is the next two arcs. Calvard is Trail into Horizons, my bad. And Daybreak, whichever those are. Which turned out to be an excellent way to recover physically and mentally, as well as forget about the series of events which had occurred over the past few days. Naturally, the Bracers decided to provide my escort were none other than Clayton and Pavel, who guided me without word to where Sister Cornelia was resting. I talked with Sister Cornelia, who had awoken for a short interval, but as I got up to leave, she reached out her dainty hand and said, "Before you go, I want to tell you that my real name, it's Ein Selnit." Yeah, so the Bracers told us already, but she wanted to tell us herself, I guess. I took her hand, unblemished, in mine, and gripped it firmly as I expressed my appreciation for what she had done. And today, now, 3 years later, I stood staring at her name once again, but this time printed on a page of the Imperial Chronicle. Ein Selnit. Don't tell me she's dead! Fuck! God damn it! Below those printed characters ran the few lines of unembellished article. Yesterday, a corpse was discovered in an urban area of the capital just before dawn. The body was found to be covered with multiple stab wounds. Departed in life. Had been involved in charitable work and brought salvation to many afflicted souls in various regions throughout the land. Oh, but she got stabbed to death? Fuck. As I read the last line, I envisioned the deceased figure of Sister Cornelia lying motionless upon a darkened street. Yet, despite the bloodstained face I envisioned in my mind, I saw as she rested in peace, a gentle smile crossing her face, vindicated of any transgressions in life. As I rolled up the copy of the magazine in hand, I brushed my hand lightly across the shining bracer emblem pinned on my chest. He became a bracer. Damn it, he became a bracer. Almost 2 years had passed since I converted to my new line of work, which Carnelli had so graciously recommended to me. And finally, I had become used to even using my real name, Toby. Came the whisper of Sis Carnelli as it resurrected in my ears. Now only known as Toby, I pressed my forehead against the cold-flooded window of the passenger car. The effulgent eyes of Sis Carnelia shining brightly like a carnelian stone, forever ingrained in my memory. In my mind's eye, I watched as her coat sleeve trailed out behind her as she dashed away into the darkness of my memories. Opening my eyes, I gazed out to the window glass, and there I saw the bleeding, rose-colored illumination of the Imperial City as it faded beneath the heavy fog. The end. Fuck. No achievement, by the way. Fuck! That's how it ends? That's how it ends? No, that's not fair! It ends with like, oh, I heard... no. I'm so that died. Oh, god damn it. Corpse discovered just before dawn. Fuck. Damn it. That's not fair! Oh man, I guess we're ending on that. Because there's not much for me to do except go to Roland. Man, alright. That was a trip. Let me talk to Elnan once more, I guess. Duke Duden, do you have anything else to say before we go? Duke Duden, my king. You wish to meet with her? Hi, okay. Damn it. Damn it. Alright. Ooh, is anyone in the guest rooms actually? That's a good question. I doubt it. There are no guests here to be had. Everyone's probably in their respective places. Alright. Let me talk to Elnan once more, just confirm that everything is taken care of. And then we will probably just end stream. Where am I gonna go from here? We still cannot communicate with Roland. It's not except to say that the lab world depends on you. Right, okay. Who can I raid out to today? We'll just raid to... Maybe. We'll raid out to Druid. We haven't said hi to them in a while, but we are mutuals, and we're friends of the same circle. We'll do raid 2. Give them a lovely from you to you. No, this has been fun. We basically got like a whole lore dump, right? Just traveling through old towns, and we got... I'm just going to pretend like we got achievements through reading those stories. Again, the Doll Knight series is great. The Cornelia series is also great. So basically, Toby, whoever this guy is, hopefully we see him in a future game. Hopefully. Letting me down? What do you mean letting you down? In fact, I should be letting you up. I do want to increase the frequency. So whenever I have projects to work on, I do just pause. It could be either like IRL work or you know, like art or something, or a friend needs me for something, you know, that stuff. But yeah, no, today was a good day. And also another good reason why I'm ending stream here is just so like this section can be isolated and story stuff could be all in the next part. But until next time, I bid you adieu. Bye bye. But yeah, from you to you, I promise more plot.